Hello, KidNuz fans. Another 7 minutes of fun, fresh news is straight ahead. But first, it's time to find the beat. Starglow Media is launching a brand new podcast called Music Land Stories. It's a weekly series that takes you on an epic adventure through the universe of Music Land, exploring all the magic that music brings to the world. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. And we begin with what could be a noisy and messy spring for much of the eastern United States, according to bug experts. That's because of an extremely rare, once-in-a-lifetime event. Two different broods or groups of cicadas are going to surface from underground at nearly the same time. One emerges every 13 years and the other every 17. But occasionally, those years overlap, and that's the situation for this spring. The last time that happened was way back in 1803. Cicadas are a valuable food source for birds and small animals, but in large numbers, billions in this case, their calls can be as loud as a jet engine, and the outer shells or carcasses that they shed can create a mess, sometimes requiring shovels to clear up sidewalks and roads, according to NPR. The cicadas will start to appear between late April and early June from Mississippi to Michigan. In a gradual but significant shift, it appears that more high schoolers are holding down jobs. Data from the Labor Department finds that at least 250,000 more teenagers in the U.S. are working after-school jobs compared to before the pandemic. One pizzeria owner, Nilo Gonzalez in Albuquerque, New Mexico, tells the Washington Post that the teens he's hired now really want to be there. They're energetic and ready to work, which he found was not always the case with the previous generation, known as millennials. Among the reasons high schoolers gave for their work enthusiasm included an abundance of entry-level jobs, mainly in retail and hospitality, along with some financial independence and the chance to try new things. After last week's kickoff to the 2024 presidential race with the Iowa caucus, today New Hampshire is holding the first primary. Republicans are predicting a record turnout, according to the New York Times, with former President Trump seeking another strong showing against his one remaining significant challenger, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. On the Democratic side, it's a bit complicated. Last year, the National Democratic Party decided to switch things up and make South Carolina its first official primary on February 3rd, saying that state has a more diverse population, which party officials felt was more representative of the country. But New Hampshire state law requires it to host the first primary in the U.S., so as a result, President Joe Biden is not on the ballot. But like we reported yesterday, his supporters are actively campaigning for voters to write in his name and give him a symbolic win. A college student has made history by becoming the first amateur to win a professional golf tournament in more than 30 years. 20-year-old Nick Dunlap scored a one-stroke win at the American Express in La Quinta, California on Sunday. The sophomore at the University of Alabama can't collect any of the $1.5 million prize money and now has to decide if he'll turn pro or remain in college. Dunlap told PGA Tour Radio he doesn't know what he'll do yet, adding, "I have to take a second to let what just happened sink in a little bit." Japan has become only the fifth nation to successfully land a spacecraft on the moon. The Smart Lander for Investigating Moon, or SLIM, had the most precise touchdown of any device, landing within 100 meters of its target zone over the weekend. The mission quickly hit a snag when it appeared the solar panels that were meant to provide power didn't work. But the Japanese Space Agency is now saying there's a chance power can be restored, and the team will provide an update later this week. In other space news, researchers have discovered the oldest black hole on record, dating all the way back to the dawn of the universe, more than 13 billion years ago. Using the James Webb Space Telescope, the international team, led by the University of Cambridge, found this black hole to be massive, a few million times bigger than our sun. And according to the journal Nature, the huge size and the fact that it was created so long ago are forcing scientists to rethink some of their assumptions about how black holes form and grow. Still to come, how one city is tackling the dirty dilemma of dog poop. Now, the KidNuz quiz. Billions of what kind of bug are going to surface in the eastern U.S. this spring? Cicadas. What state is holding a presidential primary today? New Hampshire. Which country just landed a spacecraft on the moon? Japan. How old is the black hole just discovered by researchers? More than 13 billion years. In our KidNuz Kicker, it's a big part of taking care of a dog, cleaning up their mess. And while most dog owners are responsible, some fail in this important duty. That's led officials in one Italian city, which deals with hundreds of complaints each year over dog poop in public places, to come up with an unusual solution. The BBC reports that officials in Bolzano are requiring all residents with a pet to have those animals DNA tested, and any poop that isn't picked up will be collected, tested, and hopefully identified through the DNA database. Once the culprit is found, the pooch's human will face a fine of up to 500 euros or $545 US. The city has around 40,000 dogs. So far, about a quarter have been registered. Before we go, we want to give a shout out to our terrific KidNuz teachers, Ms. Laura and her leopards at Lakeshore Alternative in San Francisco, California, Mrs. Moore and her bears at Horse Branch in Horse Branch, Kentucky, and Mr. Fleming and his Patriots at Independence Middle School in Coal City, West Virginia. Thanks for listening. Teachers, don't forget to check out the KidNuz Educators Community page on Facebook. And it really helps if you could rate and review KidNuz wherever you get your podcasts. We hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.